preferred course is always strong diplomacy. And I think part of the challenge that we have in the Middle East right now with respect to the whole Iranian nuclear situation is that a decision was made by the Trump administration several years ago during his first time in office to walk away from a nuclear agreement that had been reached that the Trump administration at that time said was being complied with. And so once they walked away, it set in motion a series of events that brings us to this current moment. What's important for people to understand is that when President Obama first entered into the nuclear agreement, it was because there was a fragile situation. Iran at the time, I think, was inside of a month in being able to race toward becoming nuclear capable. I think it may have been inside of 3 months. Then they enter into an agreement that I supported in the Congress. And that agreement now, if we were to reach one, needs to be longer and stronger. But at the time, they were inside of 3 months. They could have gotten a nuclear capable path toward becoming a nuclear power. That couldn't happen. President Obama negotiates this agreement, and it takes Iran from being inside of 3 months to outside of a year. So the agreement was doing what it was intended to do from the standpoint of making it harder for Iran to become nuclear capable. Trump comes to office and he rips up the agreement. And as a result, we were now at a place where Iran, it's widely understood, was inside of a week in terms of making the decision to become a nuclear power, which is obviously an untenable situation. So I think what I've called for is to say that as soon as practical, we've got to get the parties to the negotiating table and find a path toward a diplomatic resolution that is longer and stronger than what previously existed, but that at all times, I think there is a principle that's clear. The world will not be safer if Iran has a nuclear bomb. It will be more dangerous for the American people and, of course, for our allies in the Middle East.
Well, let me just follow up real quick, because I feel like your party specifically, you guys are walking a thin line right now, right? Because a lot of your base is growing increasingly frustrated with the government of Israel. They feel like they're the aggressors in a variety of different aspects. And even like the nuclear weapon thing, right? Like Israel is the only country in the Middle East with a nuclear weapon. So even your allies, our allies, don't have nuclear weapons in the Middle East. So, okay, we understand your stance, but at what point does the political system in America have some level of pushback to the government in Israel, which is increasingly losing favor all over the world?
Well, I think that, so there are a couple of different things going on, right? You've got the Iranian nuclear situation, which is at the highest level of severity. And I think we have to have clarity on that. In terms of what needs to happen in the context of the relationship between Israel and the Palestinian people, we need a dramatic change on the ground. And to me, that involves, one, we've got to make sure that every single hostage is free. At the same time, we have to surge consistently humanitarian assistance to Palestinian civilians who have been in harm's way through no fault of their own and have been suffering in ways that everyone should reject. And then we need to get to phase 2 of the ceasefire agreement that was originally put in place as President Biden was on his way out of office and President Trump was on his way into office, that would allow for the cessation of hostilities on the ground and a path toward a just and lasting peace between Israel and the Palestinian people. That obviously involves the reconstruction of Gaza. That involves the identification of new Palestinian leadership. And it also involves a surge of resources likely to come from the Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and others working with Egypt and Jordan on the ground. Like, so there's a robust plan that everyone, certainly in political leadership, from the Biden administration to the Trump administration, had initially agreed was the path forward to change the circumstances that exist on the ground. And we've got to get back to that, and we should get back to that immediately.